Hi, I'm Johnny. I'm a global artist ambassador for FENIX360, and I'm joined today by the Hi, My Name is Mom crew, CORRI, Jen, and KAYLA. Hi, ladies. How are you?
Johnny!
Hi, thanks for
So
having
good to
us.
see you. How are you? I'm so happy to have you here and looking forward to sharing a lot of your work that you have coming up on your podcast. Hi, my name is Mom. So, okay, if we tune into some of that content now?
Let's
Yeah,
do
go
it.
for it.
All right, great. So let's tune in now to a teaser from Hi, My Name is Mom.
You know who like the perfect parent is? It's the one that doesn't have any kids.
Absolutely.
I will get to that later.
People who aren't parents shame parents. What is that? Yeah. So when we had the Kayla's Back episode, she's like, I thought I could do everything, and anybody who couldn't, like, I was just better than them. And like, how can you not get all these things done? And now we know what you've thought of us all this time.
In my head, I mom shame. Like in my head, like I'm a human being. Like I will.
We're not
You're
claiming to be
normal.
perfect. Anybody who has
No.
listened to the podcast knows.
No. He gave me this look and just went, "Ugh." I was like, are you kidding me?
I've been shamed for being a working mom. I've been shamed for hiring a nanny to help me. I've been shamed for putting my first one in daycare so I could be a working mom. I've been shamed for being a stay-at-home mom.
Well, moms, that is great work. And I really appreciate everything you're doing to lead people to motherhood and your podcast. And I'm looking forward to learning about it. So can you tell me where you guys are from and how did you collaborate together to make this podcast happen?
Well, between the three of us, we have 8 kids. Jen and I have been friends for 20 years now. And I happened to meet Kayla, and I told her that she had to meet Jen. And over the course of this time, we were all working on growing our families. Kayla was on a fertility journey. Jen has 4 children, and I have 3. And Kayla has a 1-year-old cutie pie named Loxley. And we started to just get together as moms to hang out. And we started realizing that the incredibly unfiltered conversations we were having could be really valuable for other moms. So we decided to just kind of put those real life conversations in front of a mic in the form of a podcast.
That is a really great idea. And it sounds like, it's something that's really needed is the support that young mothers would need from others who have more experience. You know what I mean? And I think, their own moms, they've been given, some insights in terms of how to be a mom, but nevertheless to have peers and others that really understand them, maybe more close to their own age, I can understand how more impactful that would be. And also the modern mother, there's so much information out there to choose from, and how do you sift through it all? And emotionally, it's really difficult, pregnancy, etc., in terms of everything that they're bombarded with, the changes in their bodies and emotionally, and also their own relationships, how those shift and change. So you to have the expertise that you all provide is really sweet. And when you come together also as kind of a trio, your voice is kind of, even more powerful and impactful. So what are some of the subjects that you approach on your podcast that is helpful for mothers out there?
We have talked about everything. I mean, everything from how to know when your family is complete to navigating your sex life with your husband after kids, how to talk about politics, how to talk about, the sex conversation with your growing kids, how to choose, preschools and nannies and like how to add caregivers. Yeah, miscarriages and grief journeys and
Poop on your hands.
Yeah.
I will say though,
practical things.
yeah, but like I will say that we talk more. I wouldn't even call us all experts. We're just experienced, and we're sharing those experiences we have just so moms don't feel so isolated, because we're really fortunate to have each other as a tribe to lean on and talk to, but not everybody has that same community. So it's not even things that we're going through. We're giving advice or trying to tell you how to parent. We're just saying you're not alone. We're here for you. We're going to give you the community that you can like pop in your headphones in the morning, have a cup of coffee, pour a glass of wine, whatever's your cup of tea, and you're just not alone. Like
we're your mom friends.
Yeah, we're your mom
When
friends.
we first started our
Friends.
podcast,
I love that. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And I understand where the trap might be when you say, "Oh, I'm an expert in anything," really.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It puts you in a real difficult position. But when you say, "Hey, look, I'm just sharing something that has worked for me, or something that I discovered that has been helpful. It's not necessarily the magic bullet, but you might want to try it and put it in your repertoire, because it's real challenging if you got a newborn and you can't put this baby down, and you're pacing and you've tried everything and you're exasperated, and for all the other reasons why it's difficult. It's really nice to have you guys to lean on and to be able to check in with as not necessarily authority, but as you say, a mom friend. That's
Well, it's
really
like what you
helpful.
say, all of the media and the material that's been out there for a long time for moms it's looking at pregnancy
shames
and
you.
delivery and postpartum through kind of rose-colored glasses. And when I had my first child, there was one book out that was called The Girlfriend's Guide to Pregnancy. And it was everything you never knew you didn't want to know about having babies and the postpartum journey. And that's sort of the voice that I feel like that void is something that we really try to fill. It's like we're gonna tell you how it is, and it's gonna be raw, and hopefully you can relate to it and take a piece of it, and throw away what you don't like. But it's just, we don't want to give any misconceptions that the motherhood journey is easy. And that's just, I think that's the biggest thing for us, is it's hard, and we're all kind of in it together, and you need to rely on other people in your mom community.
I mean, we do try to, though, even when we talk about the heavy stuff, we try to provide some levity and some hope. And I think the overall thing is you'll probably laugh with us a lot about how ridiculous things are sometimes, and about how you might just sit in front of this baby and go, say mom, say mom, say mom. And then all of a sudden they're like, mom, 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 mom. And you're like, just shh. And these things, I mean, it's like we all go through it, and it's about the camaraderie and the shared experience without the judgment, without the opinions. It just is what it is, and we're all, in the motherhood trenches together.
It's hard, but it's like beautifully hard.
Yeah, it is. It's beautiful, and and it's messy. You know what I mean? And it's painful.
It is messy.
And it's also the greatest joy. And so because it runs the gamut of every emotional dynamic. It is really a beautiful challenge, and it's life, right? I mean, this individual that you're caring for is a divine expression, and you are as well. And so there are going to be mistakes that are made. But the thing is that, we're always growing, even as we're adults now and you're bringing up children. It's really important, I think, to have that levity, like you say, and to be able to laugh at yourself. And it's okay to be messy and screw things up. And get better. So I think it's really great that you have this as not only kind of a loving tutorial, but it's also an experiential example, where you can say, look, we've had this experience, and I finally learned after having some problems that this works. That's really beneficial for new mothers, and also for fathers, and for husbands, and for sons, and for us to understand also the dynamics of motherhood, how challenging it can be, and to be a little bit more sympathetic and empathetic about the journey, and how difficult it can be.
Oh yeah, we actually have a lot of non-parent listeners who we also love. We also like to learn from our listeners. So a lot of times it's us going, I don't know what to do in this situation. I mean, our oldest child between the three of us is 12. And so, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And so we don't know motherhood beyond that. And so sometimes these subjects come up where we're reaching out to our listeners or our audience on socials and going, what do I do?
It's a community.
Right. That's really good. And, and as you get some of that insight and feedback, you can relate it back. You know what I mean? Especially if someone's, well, my 14-year-old or my 16-year-old is going through this kind of situation. And well, we've learned from, one of our viewers that this is a good way or a good approach. And we're going to try it when we get there, kind of thing.
We also try really hard to include the voice of mothers that have a slightly different, parenting journey than us. We've had, single mothers on the podcast. We've had, women who were in, lesbian marriages, and they're building and raising the same type of family we are from a different perspective. And we think that those voices are really important to include.
They are, definitely. And culturally as well. You might get viewers and people from all over the world that have different insights, or even different remedies and different things as far as health, and that could be really beneficial to consider, So I love what you guys are doing. It's really great. So what's coming up then soon on the podcast that we can expect?
We are actually pushing a lot of events. We want to bring our conversations and just the overall love we have for each other. We want to bring that live to a lot of our listeners. So we're going to be hosting some events in Nashville for local moms. We're going to be raising money for some charities around, and we're ready to like take our platform to a different level and to a different audience.
That's
And on the
great. Well,
podcast, we have a lot of guests coming up. We're talking about, I don't know if you've dug into Enneagrams much.
Ooh.
Your Enneagram, we have an episode I'm excited about where we talk about personality types and how that can affect your parenting. We have, we have
We're getting actual experts on
yeah,
to like talk about
when it's
things.
something that we don't know much about. We like to get a mom who can talk to us
Who
about
might actually
something.
be an expert in
Yeah.
that field.
Yeah, we have a fitness
That's
expert
great.
coming on soon.
We've done all kinds of stuff like that with skincare, and we've had, anesthesiologists come on to talk about the sort of birth experience and
mental health,
yeah,
emotional health.
a lot
we've
of
had,
those.
We've had some pretty inspiring guests on.
It's interesting because, this is such a universal, experience, motherhood, of course, you know what I mean? And so do you find that you'd like to stay in that realm that, rather than get into anything kind of political or any other kinds of lifestyle subject matter, do you find that it's better to stay kind of in your own lane, if you will, in terms of focusing really on kind of the motherhood discussion?
I mean, I
Yeah.
feel we talk about motherhood,
Yeah.
but we had a podcast last year that did really well where it's like talking politics with your friends and kids
Without actually talking
without
politics.
actually talking
It was a really
politics.
great episode,
So-
actually.
Good.
I mean, I think it's great that you normalize having different viewpoints when talking about controversial subjects. I think.
And loving and respecting
Right.
each
Yeah.
other through that.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
and really, I think that we treat subjects outside of motherhood in the same way that we treat motherhood, where we're hoping to get the kind of guests where you can listen to our podcast and everyone's going to feel like they hear their own voice.
Mhm.
And at the same time, because of what, we were talking about earlier, all the judgment and opinions that comes at you when you become pregnant, and then it just continues from there. Our whole thing is loving your kids is
Yeah.
our only common thing you need to come be a part of our community. Other than that, I don't care if you breast or bottle feed. I don't care if you co-sleep or you don't. All of that stuff, your baby, your rules, your reasons, your why.
Yeah, you have a seat at our table.
That's right.
You don't have to parent like us to be in our tribe.
Yeah.
You just got
Yeah.
It's a
love your kids.
judgment-free zone.
That's beautiful, and what you guys are talking about is really connectivity. It's like, look, we're all connected, and like some way we're all divinely related, you know what I mean? And all our differences actually is what makes us so beautiful. So
we are so different in
Well,
so
yeah,
many ways.
We have 3 different parenting ideologies, 3 different religious viewpoints, 3 different political,
Yeah,
ideas.
we're all on different
We're just very
pages.
different, and we don't talk about those things a lot, but there are commonalities in all of them, and that's what really draws us together. I'll
Right.
say too, one of the things this season that's been really important to us, speaking of the motherhood journey, is sort of mom self-care and sort of the mental health side of being a mom and how isolating it can be.
Yeah.
And so we focused a lot on how important it is, because as a mom, it's like you have 100% of this pie to give. And, you got to give it to your job, and you got to give it to your kids, and you got to give it to your husband, you got to give it to your friends and your family. And at the end of the week, it's like your hope is that 100% is all balanced, and like no one got any more than anyone else, but maybe in a given day, your job took, the front seat. And another day, your kids took the front seat, and your husband never takes the front seat. Let's be real.
and
It's
maybe
like,
just
that's
need
how it
another
goes.
pie. I just want more pie. For God's sake.
But it's like that. It's like that. Trying to find that balance is a really difficult thing. It's something we talk about an awful
Yeah.
lot. We
Right.
have not figured that out.
Well, when mothers are so involved in nurturing their children, a lot of times they are always putting themselves on the very back burner, and they're not self-nurturing. And I think that's really important. And I think it's the way to kind of do that is somehow to connect in some way in the natural world, or some form of art, or something that is your own personal self-expression that you definitely, make a point to visit, to fill your cup so that you can continually give. It's a challenging thing, but you guys are doing it beautifully. And I'm so glad that your voices are coming together, to empower mothers. So we'll look forward to you coming up on Phoenix 360, and we'll be tuning into your podcast. So I want everyone to do that. Check the links below our interview today, and we'll see you coming up on Phoenix 360.
Thanks,
Thank you,
John.
ladies.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate you. Take good care.
I struggle with shaming myself.
You shouldn't be doing that.
That's inappropriate. So how ironic that the majority of this comes from other moms and from ourselves. No, you didn't have to do it that way. You need to calm your baby down.
We've been shamed by everyone for that.
Excuse me.
There's only so much changing of my entire personality I can do to be a parent.
Okay, well, I don't think we've ever had a judgier episode, guys.
Never.